Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to discuss the freezing of some USDC by Circle on the back of Barack Law potentially issuing a restraining order. Circle catching a little bit of heat for decentralization here. We're going to talk about equities pumping on NVIDIA earnings news, as well as a court ruling on tariffs. And we're going to talk about what buttons we are clicking today and the rest of the week. We got a full house in here today. I'm joined by my lovely panelists. We have Easy Eats Bodega. We've got Choose Rich Nick, and we've got Signal here on a Thursday. Nick, I know you said you don't have a ton of time today. I would love to pop you on stage. You've been traveling. You've been all over the world doing some sightseeing. How are you feeling? What do you think of the crypto markets? How have you been?
Not a ton of sightseeing, if I'm being honest. Well, I guess in Italy, I did some sightseeing. You know, a lot of people say that Italians are just assholes, just complete jerks. And I don't agree with that. It turns out that the Italians are very nice. I had a very positive experience there. I had
That's the French, Nick. Sorry.
The French are assholes, definitely. I ate at multiple Michelin star restaurants, as I deserve, and those were all very tasty. I will say one of the things that's bad about that is they take about 3 hours when you get their tasting menu, and it starts at 8. So you're just, there's no point. Like, it's kind of like you're just spending money to gorge food into yourself and then have heartburn for the entire night because you started eating at 8 o'clock, which is just, is that part. Everyone talks about how they came back, they lost weight and stuff like that. I'm just like, some of this is bullshit. Like, there's elements of European lifestyles that are completely whack, and they're just as bad as us. I think it's just more of a genetics thing.
No. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. I've eaten a meal with you. I think I saw the food. I looked away. I looked back and it was gone. Just gone in milliseconds. The good thing about the way that
That's
Europeans
how to eat.
No, it's not. It was so fast. Europeans eat a lot slower than, like, I don't want to say Americans, but the Americans that I've been around, like we eat a lot slower, and depending where you are in Europe, the time difference is huge. So like Italy, Spain, they'll eat really late, but the more like Germanic countries, they'll eat at like your hour, 5, 6 o'clock. So it kind of depends where you are. And the whole thing about losing weight, I think it's just the ingredients in the food in the US. I think you have some dodgy.
The ingredients are better. I will say that. That's the one thing I like about Europe is the positive ingredients. Yeah. There was a guy in a small town in Belgium who's like, you live in Miami? Yeah, you should fly back. We host a Greek, it's a Greek restaurant. We host a regular festival where we smash plates in the restaurant. It's very exciting. You should fly back from that. And I'm like, you know what? I will fly from Miami for your restaurant's party that you have one night. I'm going to have to do that. I'll be back on Friday. Anyways, on the crypto side of things, I've just been staying up to date. I was having issues with the man. When you're traveling, everything seems to break all at once, so that was good. And I'm sort of wondering where we're at price wise. Bitcoin has been pretty damn strong. We also saw the Trump tariff situation with the court shooting down, calling his tariffs illegal yesterday, which is bullish for the stock market, but not as bullish for crypto. Which I'm kind of.
Why is it not bullish for crypto?
No, I'm just saying the price action has not been comparable.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I also think crypto's just been leading. Like that's how I look at it. I'm like, crypto seems to finally have been leading. Like, it seems like Bitcoin has finally been showing where price should be moving. The market's now catching up. Like, you had that market sell off on the back of like potential tariffs, only for it then to pause. You're getting this. There's like all this stuff and like phrases for Trump called taco. If you've seen that, Trump always chickens out has been the thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny. That made me laugh, and he like acknowledged it yesterday. But now I think we're finally getting like an equities catch up, because you had that. Remember when we were talking? Was it last week or maybe the week before, where I was like, I think the market has to cool off a bit. Like I basically look at like some of the top equities. Nvidia just shattered earnings too, which is like very
Dude, you
good.
could have just made 40% by buying them after they collapsed.
Literally just buying the dip on that. I mean, I'm still like, dude, Robinhood's at $65. Like I'm up over 100% in like a month. You know
I
what I mean?
followed
Like,
you, Easy. I followed you on Robinhood
yeah.
like a couple of weeks back. Thank you. It turned out
I'm like, that was just like
beautifully.
such a very clear play. And I don't like, I just kept looking at everything they were doing. And I was like, the second these earnings come out and they see how much they're making on this predictions market and they realize like, oh, we should just lean more into gambling. Then I'm like, okay.
Predicting.
Like,
I don't know if I fully agree with that thesis.
but I'm saying
You're
like,
like,
I'm like, yeah, just take the people who don't have anybody's money, like who don't have money, give them hope that they could hit 1000x. And it's like Peter pays Paul, but instead of Peter Pan stealing from the rich to give to the poor, Robin Hood's stealing from the poor to make themselves rich. Yeah, I'm down with it. Let's go to $200 a share, you know? But on top of that too, I look at like that is great for me. DFDV, me and Nick were sitting at by the way, the best part of the entire AVAC summit was the wellness tent. Me and Nick were sitting there and we look at DFDV and I'm like, Nick, are we down 400%? He's like, no, I think they did a stock split. I'm like, no way. I just searched the ticker and they did a 7-to-1 split. And me and Nick just start cheering. We're like, this is crazy. Like we bought the stock and what?
I sold like 80% of my position. And I had done the math wrong. A bodyguard at the event was like, yo, so what's your tip? And I was like, bro, let me tell you. And I told him about DFDV. Then I did the math wrong. And I thought that we were trading at 0.5 net asset value to or whatever the multiple is. And then it turned out that it was actually 5x their net asset value on Solana.
So we're at the peak.
That's an important decimal point there.
Yeah, it was a very important one. And I just finished telling this guy, you got to get in on this thing. It's probably been, if he bought it, it's been like down only since that thing. This guy's probably like, yo, so you got to hire me as a bodyguard because I'm fucking broke right now. Yeah, that situation was ridiculous. I will say on this pullback, I become more interested. I sold, I think, 80% of that position. I was like, this seems ridiculous. But yeah, I'm now debating what the next move is here. Who's drawing this chart right now?
I am.
That has to be Ray. Yeah, I was gonna say this is a Ray drawing right now because what's happening?
I'm drawing the fibs.
But you're missing half the chart. What's going on?
Like, I understand that. Normally, I'm used to a setting that's going to let me extend it to the right, and I can't. Oh, there it is. We got it. There we go. Better?
Oh my God. Anyways,
you're hitting that 618 retracement level here,
dude. I don't know what the situation is with this. There are also others. So then you have the Trump media company. Basically,
$2 billion, right? 2.5 billion.
But their company is already trading at 5 billion. And so the problem with this was their actual underlying company basically had, well, now they're at 4.7 billion. Their company is garbage. So that like the actual company just continuously loses money. Over the past year, well, it hasn't lost that much. It's lost. It's lost 400 million. The revenue is 3.6 million. Net income is negative 400 million. So like they make as much money as we do, basically.
Yeah, but so Nick, hear me out. You know what we need to do is dilute the shit out of our company. All right, we're gonna do a bond offering, multiple splits, and then we're gonna go long near
treasury.
I'm not fucking with near protocol, or there's another.
The near blockchain.
I'm not fucking with that, dude.
But so Nick, this is what you're not understanding here. This is what you're not getting. So we already have a Solana one, we have an ETH one, multiple Bitcoin ones, NVIDIA just beat earnings. And do you know what the only blockchain partner with NVIDIA is? Near.
Okay.
So if we go long Near and be the first, we're technically, like MicroStrategy is a leverage long Bitcoin. We're basically a leverage long NVIDIA with this.
What
It
chips do you
can't
think
possibly go wrong.
Bitcoin miners are using? Probably Intel.
Yeah, probably Intel or AMD.
Okay. They're using Windows 95.
Yeah, it's maybe not even.
So, anyways, I gotta hop on a call, but I was looking at the Trump one, being like, shit, I gotta look at this. Is there a good site? I was thinking of just building one real quick, which tracks the net asset value multiple on all these different companies. Like what's the list of all the crypto treasury companies? We got GameStop that excuse me, just came out.
GameStop. We got, don't forget about Freight Technologies and their Trump strategy.
Oh, that thing is fucking awful. Holy shit. Wow.
We got Cantor Equity Products.
You got
Cantor
21
Equity Partners, isn't it?
You got 21 as well.
Which isn't that 21?
Yeah, this is 21.
Um,
You've got DeFi Development Corp. You've got MetaPlanet, which is like 3350, I think.
Someone says just make a Dune dashboard. Like, you can do that. Like,
Go make a Dune dashboard.
Just make a Dune dashboard. You got it.
We have a new one we're going to talk about in the weather report as well.
Well, MetaPlanet has been absolutely sending, but that's because the Asians can't invest their 401k and stuff in there, right?
I have no idea.
I think like they don't have, because they don't have like how we have Bitcoin ETFs and stuff. MetaPlanet is the only company that has access to this. Yeah, I don't know.
So are you saying Asia's bidding?
Weekly.
Well, I mean, that's what sent Sailors. That's what sent MicroStrategy, when it used to be MicroStrategy, at the beginning in I want to say March last year. There's a reason why I bid on it. It's because I couldn't get into the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. So if the same idea has been done on MetaPlanet, that's going to absolutely send, and it already has.
Yeah, I mean, I can't find a justification for buying MetaPlanet here. Although they're on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Sorry, I thought they were Asia based. I don't know. Regardless, I would love to see a dashboard of all these companies just listed out. Anyway, I'm gonna go hop on a call. Guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks for joining us, Nick. It was brief. It was beautiful.
Thanks,
That's what
team.
you said. We'll see you later. That being said, we're going to thank the sponsors for today's show, DYDX. We have been absolutely cooking with DYDX. Easy's been running up our trading bag as well. DYDX is the premier decentralized perps trading platform. Been around for multiple cycles. They know what they're doing over there. If you haven't signed up yet, sign up today at bodalgos.com/DYDX. We are at the tail end of May, so that means a new month of Surge Rewards is on its way. No better time to jump in and start trading, getting used to the platform, because the leaderboard resets in June and new rewards are going to go out. I think that it will not be very crowded initially, but people are going to see those May numbers and they're going to say, ooh, look at this. There's some juicy rewards to be had here. This $20 million up for grabs over 9 months, so that's over $1 million per month. April paid out, I think, like 1.8 mil to like 2,800 people. All kinds of rewards here for trading. Just do volume, do it on their site. As a retail user, you have an advantage over all the APIs that are scraping data and running all these programmatic calls. You get a bonus for using their site as a retail trader, not doing all the automated stuff. So the little guys still have a leg in the game. Also, you can yap about them on the timeline, earn some cash, 50K in rewards per month over the next 3 months to talk about DYDX. They have their own Kaido leaderboard. They're partnering with Kaido for this one. Awesome to see. Lots of ways to be plus EV when you're either using DYDX to trade or talking about them. Super simple, easy. What's your strategy to lock in some of these DYDX rewards?
I mean, in short, it's just like, if you look at the market and you want to go long, even spot here, like you can, if you're just long spot and you don't care about it being directly custodied by yourself, like if I want to buy ETH for a trade, why does it not make sense to open up like a 1.5x long right now, where your liquidation price is so low that you can still capture upside and farm points and get onto the Kaido leaderboard with yaps and talking about the trade. If you're net long or net short, any of the majors, meme coins, alts, you name it, you should just be doing it on DYDX. Like plain and simple, you have surge trading rewards, which, for example, we put in $1,000, and I believe we broke $1,200 in rewards. So it covered the entire initial cost. We were trading completely for free on top of the money that we made trading on that. Then in addition to that, if you're just posting about your trades, the Kaido post TG leaderboard for this is such an underused board that like I've posted 3 or 4 times this week. It does help that I have some reach, but I'm like top 3 for the 30-day. And that's the thing. If you have one banger trade and people resonate to you and start engaging with future trades, you can make $2,500 a month just from their top, I believe it's top 10 on there. So on 30-day, you can see I may have fallen out of the top. I'm 6th now. Okay, so I'm 6th, right? One more tweet and I'm back in top 5. But that means I can net $2,500 right from there just by posting my trades anyway and talking about the market and mentioning that I'm trading on DYDX. It's hands down, if you're a trader, the easiest way to farm yaps, get onto a leaderboard, earn surge reward points, and trade with a platform that has a deep order book. Like, it's such a no-brainer.
Yeah, and then for like a lot of these boards, what I like to do in terms of like my own process, if I want to jump on the board and like see if like I can actually farm it, like look who's on the board and like just search their Twitter for like DYDX and just like see what their best tweets have been. Look at these and maybe like do some like copying of some of their tweets. But like actually a lot of these top tweets from this guy who's on the board are like from way back when. So like this is very undercrowded. So there's still like a lot of opportunity here. But that's generally the strategy I'll take. I'll look at some of the people on the leaderboard and then I'll basically look at what strategies they're using, and you can kind of like co-opt those strategies into jumping into this top 100, which is nice. That being said, we got a lot to talk about today. Let's jump on over into the weather report, Sig.
Yeah, I know. There's two more May weather reports, and then we're done. Then we're in June. Basically, June, July, August is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's September, it's Q4. So it's like, this time of year always goes so quickly. So let's get into the penultimate weather report of May on Thursday, May 29th. Let's look at that crypto roundup. The majors, they're slightly up on the day with Bitcoin at 108,000. ETH just under 2,700, performing very well over the week. And Solana at $172. Over the past 24 hours, Circle froze $57 million worth of USDC tied to the Libra token scandal. Berwick Law claims that the funds were frozen due to a New York court granting a temporary restraining order on behalf of a class action suit filed by the company. Next up, another US story. The US federal court has ruled that President Trump does not, I repeat, does not have the authority to implement sweeping global tariffs. Equities pumped across the board, the market light tick, and the NASDAQ is up 1.3% pre-market. And finally, again, another US with the NASDAQ, they have traded with VivoPower because they announced a $121 million raise to launch an XRP treasury strategy. The funding was led by Saudi Prince Abdulaziz bin Turki Abdulaziz Al Saud, who contributed $100 million to the private share placement. I see what you did there, Ray. You tried to trick me up because I got my numbers wrong last week, but I didn't. So that is for the weather report today. Back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report.
That was crazy.
As always.
That was
Crazy name. Not gonna lie. That's like top 3 hardest thing I've ever had to say.
Yeah, Sig in the absolute zone going with the Saudi Prince name there. I had to throw that one in there for you. Absolutely crushed that. This is kind of interesting though. XRP being the latest to launch one of these crypto treasury strategies, or like
Dude, this is what I'm saying. We could be the first to near. The first to near.
$30 million market cap, VivoPower International, traded on the NASDAQ. Wicked yesterday up to $8 on the news, up 50%. Any interest in an XRP equity shitcoin here? Easy.
Dude, XRP is low enough. Just buy XRP. Like, that's the difference for me, is like, just buy XRP. Like, some of these I'm like, why would I want to get it? Like, dude, what's XRP? Like sub $2?
XRP is currently 230.
Okay, like still, dude, just buy XRP. Like, you're basically buying XRP for $6 versus just going and buying the coin for $2.30. Like, I look at MicroStrategy, it's like that's cheaper than, or IBIT, that's cheaper than buying Bitcoin mentally. It's like the psychological numbers. Like that's a big part. The Solana one's a good example. You're buying DFDV for 23, 25, 27 and Sol's at 170. So like mentally you feel like you're getting a good deal on it when in reality it's still trading much higher. So I'm like, yeah, why would I not just go and buy XRP?
Yeah, I agree. And like, I've been like thinking about this like mental model mind frame. Like the total crypto market cap's at like 3.4 trillion right now, and like equities and everything else is like orders of magnitude above that, like 10, 100x of where crypto is right now. And if we think crypto is going to continue down this trajectory with all these regulations, people buying Bitcoin, sovereign nations, like it just feels like buying the top 5 crypto tokens, like including XRP, just going Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and then just like, excuse my language, just fucking off for the cycle. Just feels like a play that that is probably going to outperform most strategies in this space.
And as well, like all of those companies, I'm sorry, it's all going to be fugazi, house of cards. There's nothing there. When the wave goes out, everyone's naked. You choose your analogy. It's all going to come tumbling down like a house of cards. You just want to own the underlying real asset. I think the only one to actually bother like having in your portfolio is MicroStrategy. Yes, I'm biased. I already have a position, but everybody else is a copycat. And I know Ray last week, like the last 2 weeks, we've talked about whether this is a good trade. I've now firmly believe it is not. It's like meme coins are a better trade than trying to get into these companies. And I've noticed in the last couple of weeks, Easy's been correct on a few things. Number one, Robinhood. He's been talking about that a long time now. Number two, SPX, that has performed extremely well. He mentioned that when Murad had just started the TikTok, and I think he only had 4 posts. And then number 3, now he's talking about Near, and now I'm like, oh god, you actually could be right about the Near thing. So
I think Near is the clearest. I'm telling you, like everyone's like, dude, I don't know about this Near thing. The only blockchain partnered with NVIDIA, the only one. It's AI focused. If there's an AI cycle that's going to run, like. It's the only alt that I continually feel underexposed to, and it's just trading poorly. Like it's just plain and simple. There's not enough mind share on it. There's an interesting dynamic to the price action, I guess, but like for me, I'm just like it's got to catch up at some point. That's how I look at it. The SPX thing is crazy though. Like SPX is up 40% since Murad started posting about this thing. And I said yesterday in a chat, I was like, dude, I'm gonna be honest. Like I'm tempted to just full port SPX and fuck off for the next 6 months. Like. Just forget about trading, start believing in something. Because you're starting to see other people make TikToks in the Murad style who are not on crypto Twitter. And they're like, this is the one. This is going to 5, 10, 100x. I'm just blindly believing. And listen, the guy knows how to talk his book, and the guy knows how to do it well. So I'm like, man, does this go to like $4 and I catch like a clean 3x? Wouldn't be mad about it on size. Like, I don't know. It's if he has a couple of these that pop off, and the more I watch them, the more I'm just like, this is an art project. This is good content. Like, I love this content because he's not like some of them. He's like, go buy SPX, but other ones he's just like, you're fucked. And I'm just like, damn. Okay.
And you know what, Easy? That like when I think about it, it's actually crazy because you had this thesis. I know you've been talking about it in the last month. But I always remember when we strongly disagree on certain things. And I remember you saying about SPX that people will go to it because it's like wanted to be bigger than the stock market. And that was your whole like thesis at the time. And I remember strongly
it's a really simple narrative.
But that was like 18 months ago you said that. And maybe, like I want to say around 18 months ago. And obviously it's had like a really big downhill trajectory, but coming up. And now I'm kind of agreeing with you and seeing it play out. And I'm like, okay, if he pops off on TikTok, you just need that one video where you go absolutely viral and the algorithm will take care of the account.
Dude, it's absurd.
I have to play this video with volume.
Play the video.
I have to play this video with volume. I was like reading the subtitles. It's just absolutely absurd.
Have you ever heard boomers call Zoomers lazy?
The younger generation doesn't really want to work.
Well, that's absolute bullshit. Boomers had infinitely more financial opportunities, which are now harder to come by and will further get demolished by AI. Today, you have to work 3 times harder just to get half the money. The one thing that Zoomers are good at is social media. They will use social media to push their own asset class. SPX 6900. Look it up. Have you ever...
You hate boomers? Are you good at social media? SPX 6900. Look it up.
It's the dumbest, most simple thing. But dude, the narrative's just like, it's the new stock market. This will flip the stock market. This is your chance of financial freedom. And like when you have one person just saying the same thing over and over and over, yeah, it works. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know how it works, but it works. Like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I'm underexposed to SPX. I'm like severely underexposed.
So new all-time highs this cycle that you think is like an
I think Murad's list will be right, and it's purely because of SPX. I don't think any of the other ones will be even close to as accurate. Like Apu, I don't see Apu going to a new all-time high. I see SPX becoming like an uncomfortable high valuation for no reason. Literally purely because this guy just manages to take over TikTok. He tried crypto Twitter. Everyone called him an idiot. He found a bigger group of idiots on TikTok, and it's working.
Yeah, let's do a quick rundown of his list here. SPX 1.06 billion, MOG 467 million, Popcat 433 million, Giga 250 million, Ticker Bitcoin 79 million, Apu 72 million, Fwog 69, Retardio 24, Lock-in 9.5, Smoking Chicken Fish 8.4, Mini 5.5. If SPX hits new all-time highs, there has to be some beta here, right? But I mean, is it just buy SPX and just not even worry about doing a basket here?
Like,
Just take the
screw
winner.
the basket, dude. Just bet on the fastest horse. It's the PO mentality. Like at this point, just bet on the fastest horse, and it certainly looks like it's going to be SPX. Like that's the craziest part is, dude, for whatever reason, this stupid coin seems like it's got. I mean, I actually like to comment in here about Bitcoin, Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic, Teninu.
Mhm.
That's the other one because it's like if SPX runs wicked high, then people are going to be like, this Bitcoin will flip Bitcoin. Like that's probably the beta.
This one feels the closest in spirit to SPX in terms of like the
Yeah.
community behind it. If that makes
Yeah.
sense, it's hard to like quantify that. It just feels like the same group of psychos that are behind SPX are kind of behind this as well. This chart is wild. If you haven't gotten
Insane,
shaken out by this chart yet, you're like you're a crazy.
You're
person.
mentally ill. You're mentally ill. Like if you held this if you bought this the day it launched and are still holding this, you are a sick, twisted individual. And I have nothing but respect for you. I have nothing but respect for you.
And Ray as well, I don't like the beta plays here because I feel like the beta plays are going to compete with other meme coins. Like first of all, there's too many of them, right? It's not like there's only 3, let's say. There's like a portfolio of around 10, and they have to compete with everything else. So if you get like another hippo meme coin or like whatever animal meme coin, they still need to compete against that. So I feel like Easy's right here. Just go with the one that he's screaming about most on TikTok, and he's clearly doubling down on that strategy and not mentioning.
He's only going to talk about SPX.
Yeah.
Discourse saying he bought at 3 cents, not selling till $1. So if you bought at 3 cents, did you buy like on the initial run up, or did you like get like a good buy-in on this most recent dip? That's the question there. But that would be like potentially a long time holder. Interesting to see here. Green's
I don't
not
know, man.
happy.
Just buy SPX.
Green's saying it's a waste of time. He keeps talking about CBDCs in the comments. He's unhappy with the SPX talk. I think that's part of it. I think a lot of people are calling these things dumb, and these are
They are dumb. They are dumb, but dude, that's the thing. That's the thing here. No matter how dumb it is to us, there's an audience for this content. Clearly, the price is going up. He's shilling one coin and one coin only, and you're starting to get a push from other people. Like that's the big thing for me is like I look and I'm like, okay, there's more people now creating similar content on SPX, on TikTok that are not Murad. So it's spreading. And that's the main thing I look at is like, okay, if it's gonna keep spreading, this will keep running. And I'm like
wait, but Easy, just really quick, is it organic content, do you think? Or does it look
completely.
like okay.
Completely. I think it's just bag holders bag working. They see Murad chilling it and they're doing the same thing. Like these accounts have like 300-400 followers. They're literally the smallest accounts you can imagine. There's no way Murad's paying people to do it. He has the farthest reach already. Why not just see if other people organically start working for this and posting the same content? It's just going to keep going. Like that, it's the simplest thing. And at a price of $1.14 per coin, I don't know. There's something about this is interesting, and I can't quite figure out what it is. Maybe like how high does it have to go? Like if this thing goes to $100, that's absurd. Like that's literally absurd. But like we've seen crazier stuff happen in pure euphoric markets.
$100 puts it at 100 billion FDV. For context, that would have it be the number 5 crypto asset, wedged in between XRP and BNB.
Flip the stock market, brother. Like it's that simple. The stock market's I don't even know how many trillions. Flip it.
I don't know. I want to get in here. It feels late, but it does feel like we're having a moment. I think like there was a good comment here. It's like, hey, like if ETH continues to pump, Pepe and SPX are gonna outperform.
And MOG. I would say MOG too.
MOG too, yeah.
MOG, SPX, Pepe. If ETH continues this rally, you're gonna have the ETH meme coins running. Those would be the big 3 I'd bet on.
Yeah,
I would bet on SPX over MOG actually in this situation because Pepe's done exactly what Pepe's very predictable in that it has done exactly what people thought it would do. But I feel like because of this TikTok angle that Murad has, there's like and also as well because the coin is now about 18 months old. I want to say when that list came out, was it token 2049 when you guys went to Singapore and you heard him talk about it? So that was definitely more than a year ago. So I want to say around 18 months. So it's been battle tested.
Not even a year.
What I'm
not
trying
even
to
a
say.
year yet.
Right? Not a year. Oh wow, it feels like more than a year. But the fact that it has been battle tested and you're seeing like the boss work harder than everybody else, I think that's like extremely bullish for it. I don't own any of it. If I do, I have a tiny amount, which is probably sitting somewhere. But I don't know. Easy, you're making me feel more bullish, but then I feel very late to it as well. I'm kind of like, oh, have I missed it? But
that's so if you heard even what I said a little earlier, like if you get a 3x out of it, that's the trade. Like send it to like 4 bill, 5 bill. You get a 3x with size and less downside risk. That's the most interesting part of it. I'm not talking like there's no way this goes to $100. You know what I mean? But a 4 to 5 bill, that's very interesting.
Where's Pepe right now? Because Pepe all-time highs is like 12. Where's it now?
Let's take a peek.
12 bill. The other part is like the unit bias is something I always think about with these because Pepe at 12 bill, you can still buy 1 million coins for like $200. Yeah, this is at 5.
Okay.
5 bill.
Still got a bit of a 2x to go. Okay, yeah, I like your thesis here. I feel like I feel like it's worth a punt. It's worth a punt.
I think I'm gonna go click some buttons on DYDX after the show. I'm gonna click SPX on a basically spot long, like you were saying, 1.5, and the same with near. I'm just gonna hang out.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, dude, you could even go for a 2x, like 2x leverage long, and your liquidation price is going to be so low that you don't have much risk to worry about if you were just buying spot, and now you're getting 2x the upside potential. So like that's how I would trade it. Is like take out a 2x leverage long on DYDX, farm the points. Just check funding because obviously you're going to have a cost to keep the position open because it is leverage. Funding should be fairly low. And realistically, by holding those positions, you should get surge points. And if you talk about these positions, get on the DYDX leaderboard, cover your cost. Now you have basically a free position on 2 things that I personally think are going to outpace a lot of the market.
Yeah, I think we're gonna put one of these bad boys in.
The SPX one's the most interesting. Ray, this is one of your favorite charts too. Like it's just up on strength. You love blasting here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We got a little strength. Yeah, I think I might go SPX in near here. As some buttons that I'm potentially clicking.
For this though, Ray, before you just buy market, I'd put a buy order in because if you look at the order book on this,
I see like
the order book's very thin. So like I would put in, I mean it's not terribly thin to be honest. Like you have about 12K right there on buys and sells, but you're going to get a fill that's a little bit high. So I put like a buy right at the 1.14, 1.15 basically, and you should get a decent fill on it.
Yep, that's the plan. Yeah, I don't want to market buy into a ton of it. I mean, because if you try to market buy size, you're going to be paying a nice premium there.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's playing. That's a couple buttons I'm clicking. I've got a couple more buttons to talk about here.
Ray, I want to talk about something first though.
All right.
NFTs on Ethereum.
Okay. Which ones?
Well, ETH in general. So EVM chains, abstract, base, hype EVM technically.
They're all like right here.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the big ones. Dude, I'm so mad about that Supermon 151, by the way. Like, so mad about this.
Why?
So I saw Adam Hollander post about this artist, right? And like, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. Everyone knows this. I collect Bulbasaur. It's like my go-to. He minted the Bulbasaur, sent it to me for free as like a, hey, I know you're a big Bulbasaur guy. I saw he minted it. Pure luck. I was like, whoever minted this, let's cut a deal. I was expecting to pay like half an ETH. He just sends it to me. Floor's 0.03. In return, I send them back 0.1 ETH as like a thank you. So I paid 3x the floor. These things giga send. Like, I don't know what in my brain was like, yeah, I don't know. I should have bought 5 of them, sub 0.1. I stared at them for a while. Yeah, you can see I own this one. I'm so excited about this thing. I should have just like swept them. But art collections are tough because it's such a low supply. Either they send or they sit at 0. So it was like, do I lock up 0.15? In that case, it probably would have been closer to like 0.5 ETH and hope these pump. Or do I just hold this one in perpetuity, which is what I'm going to end up doing? They ran to 2 ETH. Like, absolutely crazy, crazy run with sales at 2 ETH. So, like, the volume was there. People were getting mad at Adam Hollander because he's the CMO of OpenSea and talking about a project. I was like, that's kind of dumb. They're like, yeah, you basically pumped this. I don't fully agree with it. This artist does have positive aspects in traditional art, has tons of sold out prints and other things. And I just think in general, people resonate with Pokemon. We're seeing all these cards and stuff go crazy. I'm like, yeah, this is good. I think there's potential here. I don't think there's a reason for people to get mad at it, but it also shows that like the art ecosystem probably has some decent potential right now. So I'd be looking at like Art Blocks and some of these other ones, especially like sub 500 supply collections. Like that's where I'm like, what is new? What is next? What's coming up that we could potentially find an option for and trade it?
So you're looking at new stuff as opposed to old stuff. My first thought process when these
Ray, you're so muted. It hurts.
I'm muted. Can you hear me now?
No, I hear you, Ray. I think it's easy.
Oh no, it might be me. My headphones might have died. Why
All
can't I
right.
not hear anything?
All
One
right.
sec.
All right. So my first thought process with these is to look at some other generative art collections. And like I went to Art Box Curated, like comparing price, because I saw these things go all the way up to 2 ETH. And I was like, damn, like that is like pretty substantial. So I went on Article and I was like, what other collections could you like swap one of these Pokemon for at this point? And looking at like some of these like big collections in the past, like it got close to Anti-Cyclones. It was basically the same floor as Memories of Qilin, which is like a pretty respected Art Blocks collection. So like looking at like that, like I was like, these things have definitely overcooked. If I had one of these, I'd be swapping it for one of those. Another one that came to mind was like Genesis by Claire Silver, through the Brain Drop or the I think it's Brain Drops. Like that's another big collection that was right around 2 ETH. So like it's crazy to see these new collections like the Supermon pump to these crazy prices when there's so many other collections that are older and like more like well respected that like don't get there. I think a lot of it's like, yeah, okay, it's the hype behind this very small collection supplies, which kind of squeezes like price upwards because there just aren't people selling. So like supply isn't eaten up by demand, and I don't know.
But also as well, Ray, because of the Pokemon theme, you have an like first of all, the art is sick. I absolutely love it. I think it's really I would print that, hang that on my wall. Happy to have.
I'm so mad my Bulbasaur print sold out before I could buy it. It's already sold out. I can't even get it. So I'm pissed about that.
You can just do what Nick used to do, which is just to print it off and stick it up on his wall. But secondly, as well, what's interesting about this particular collection is that because it has Pokemon as like the underlying narrative, those collectibles already have value within their ecosystem. Now, I'm not the biggest Pokemon fan, so forgive me if I say a name and I've got it completely wrong, but the yellow one, Pikachu, so cute. Like everybody knows within that ecosystem what value he is, okay, compared to the one
real quick, you saw premiums on Charmander, yes, Charizard, etc. Because like Charizard's hyped. Umbreon is a very popular one now for like newer collections, and that was in here, so that sold at a premium fairly early. Yeah, there was a couple of them that did sell fairly high. Like obviously the 3 starters, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, had a lot of like interest. I think the Charmander ended up selling for like 4 ETH or something stupid. Ray, can we filter by highest sales by chance? Because I'm curious about that. Because I think Sig's spot on. Because there's inherent value to certain ones, they held a premium. Yeah, the Charmander is the highest sale. So like that one sold for 4.4 ETH, which is crazy when the floor was 2. You see some of the others right around 2. Those are just like highest floor sales, but the Charmander was the one that I think caught a lot of attention.
And so, Ray, so like the point I wanted to make is just that I think it's quite when the art blocks collections used to drop, there was always that moment of just like either just trying to snipe everything or people trying to figure out very quickly like 4 trait, 3 trait, whatever, just trying to like figure out what is the value of this collection, which ones are the rares, which ones are the non-rares. So I can see why this got bid up so quickly and had the volume that it did. I think if new collections come out and you're going to have something like, Memories of Chilling, for example, it just makes it a little bit harder to understand where the value is. But who knows? Like you could be right. Art could have its complete resurgence, and we see small collections pumping again. Like I said, we're in eggplant season. Stuff like this tends to come back. You have like a bit of resurgence, and it goes away. I can totally see that happening. But I think this one in particular had a beautiful speculative narrative with decades of like intrinsic pricing already done for it. So it coming out, you just needed to have low supply, amazing art, and the guy and then on top of that, great marketing by the CMO. It was a perfect trifecta.
I see
It's
some,
still
some
so hit or miss
usual
though.
suspects in here. Pranksy buying a ton of them. Illuminati grabbing a ton of them. The thing is, it's tough. Like, there's not much liquidity. Like, yeah, like there's been like 100 ETH of volume, but like, most of that was
100 ETH on a 151 supply
run between 2 ETH, like 1.75 and 2 ETH up and down, and then that was it. Now it's like becoming illiquid, and you're seeing like the other side of that, like with an illiquid market, people rushing for the floor were half the price of where we were a day ago.
But Ray, like 100 ETH at 151 supply when the floor was 2 is like not a lot of volume.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
One of these other popular collections, like the Bad Buns, is the other one I wanted to talk about because I did buy these recently. I'm down on them, but like that, for example, is a 3333 collection, right? Like decent collection, 5x the total volume. So I'll get something like that where like you're just you're trading hands more often. It has 5x the volume, speculation of the Mega ETH airdrop, stuff like that. That I think the market values a little bit more. The art stuff is so hard because as hard as it goes up, it collapses just as hard. Like if in 6 months, if those Supermons are 0.001, would it surprise any of us? You know what I mean? Like that's it. I'd probably buy a couple more just to hold. Like I like the art. I think they look cool, and for the right price, I would just tuck them away.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think like if the art is so good and compelling, there's like a floor that exists. Like if you have enough like people who are interested in it, I think like the Supermon has like a wide enough audience with like I think there's a good overlap of like people who played or enjoy Pokemon, remember this nostalgia and NFT buyers. I think that's like a pretty like well overlapping like Venn diagram. So I think there is like some like base floor that gets set, but yet if you're buying one of those to flip it, like you might not have an exit for a year, 2 years, or never.
Never is probably more likely. But then that's the thing. I mean, the art is so good that is just you would want the print, and if you don't have the print like either, you could just print it out and stick it on your wall. Because I don't know. I think like some things you're just kind of like meh. You're buying it because of the nostalgia, because you love Pokemon. You're not buying it because a specific cabal group came in, bought the art, pumped the price, and then there was this narrative that XYZ artist is basically the next Van Gogh, and then that narrative goes away within 12 to 18 months.
If that was the play, I would have swept the floor when I saw them at 0.05, 0.03. I didn't. I wanted one specific one because I collect the physical Pokemon cards, and that was the entire thesis.
Yeah. I think that all makes sense. I want to look at these Bad Buns. What was the thesis behind these originally? Because I kind of was close to clicking the buy button near the top as well, but I held off.
Yeah, so I bought 4 at 0.4. So I'm in for like 1.6 ETH. We saw the Hypeos go crazy, right? These Bad Buns to me have that similar Milady art style. Because like when you look at them, it's like, but significantly more tailored towards Mega ETH. You had Bread Guy give some comments on how he thinks the team isn't out for just taking profit or malicious stuff. They talk to the team. And for me, it's like you need one iconic PFP collection early that should theoretically run. Same kind of separation where you're going to have to bridge to Mega ETH when it comes out. It's on EVM right now, or ETH mainnet. So like eventually there will be a bridge. But the hope is like this is the first iconic PFP for Mega ETH. The Fluffles are soulbound, so like those are out. You know what I mean? These are tradable.
Well, half of them are sold out. The other half is gonna be
soulbound.
Oh, soulbound. Yes, soulbound.
Yeah.
Correct.
So they're stuck in the wallets. They can't be traded. These are tradable, which opens up a premium, in my opinion, especially going into an airdrop, if there will be one for Mega ETH, to these like pre-collections, which we've seen with Barachain, which potentially might exist for Abstract, which we've seen for some of these other L2s that have launched when there's PFP collections outside. I'm like, yeah, this is very interesting to me.
I think these are just cool too. Like they look cool. Like they did a good job with the art here. I'm interested in Mega ETH. I've been participating on testnet. If you're somebody who is looking for like a quick start on Mega ETH, you need some testnet ETH, hit us up in the Bodoggos Discord. Brad was kind enough to send us a bunch of testnet ETH over there to play around with for the Bodoggos to jump in. So jump in, ping me, and I'll get you hooked up and shoot you some good resources for early protocols to play with on Mega ETH to kind of get you in there and see what's going on. I definitely am I do hold a Fluffle. I'm looking for more exposure. So like, that's why this was interesting to me. I didn't buy yet. I think maybe we see a cool off here until like we see more Mega ETH news. Does that make sense? So like I may keep an eye on these, and this might be one I like throw an offer in around like 0.25 and then just kind of sit on that, see what happens for a little bit. Attention goes away, hit an offer or two maybe, and then we come back with launch of Mega ETH.
Yeah, that's why I'm not like too worried. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like not terribly worried about price going down short term. With NFTs, I'm like hyper aware that these are long-term swing trades. Like I've been holding these monsters.fun for a while. So I'm like, that to me is one that's also interesting for Abstract. I own 10 of these. What are that?
Almost 0.6 now, 0.55.
Oh, 0.55. Nice. Which means as soon as staking goes live, it's like, I love the low supply for this, and it's a game. We've seen the on-chain hero rings go for a crazy premium. So if the first couple of tokens on this are strong, I think these go over an ETH. So like Abstract's hot. I've been holding it for 2 weeks almost now, which is crazy for me to hold anything that long. But I'm starting to like slow down and have a little bit more conviction in certain things, which is like, oh yeah, staking's live. So that means they just rolled out staking, which is good. Cool. That to me is like interesting. Yeah, staking's live. Yeah. So it just happened 30 minutes ago.
And that's what we saw.
Yeah. So now I'd probably go stake them, because that means we're going to get allocations for their 3 tickers that launch. And this is a token-based PvP game where market cap decides who wins. So like, dude, the ticker's Blazecock for the red one. Like that's absurd. One of the tickers is SBF. So it's like they're having some fun with this, which I'm a fan of.
So and this green one, like, this green one's yours here. You're all about this one.
No, I like the red one, Blazecock.
Well, that's the Charmander of the 3. You don't like the Bulbasaur?
The Bulbasaur one's named SPF, and like I still have some scars from that whole situation. So like, you know, I'm a little bit, I don't know, I'm a little hesitant on that. But Blazecock is funny. I'm like, that's the one that's kind of funny to me.
Yeah, that one could cook. I've seen some jokes on the timeline. I have some Abstract exposure right now. I don't know if this is where I'm going to go. I'm unsure. I think this price point is probably fair, especially after it ran up another 10% after that announcement.
If staking is good and you get good allocation, these will continue to run as more tokens continue to drop. It's the virtuals flywheel, brother. You're just early.
Yeah, you might have convinced me. I've got a couple buttons that I'll be clicking. Not NFT related. We talked about Loud a little bit on the show earlier this week. They just
screw that whole thing.
They just, well, I mean, yes, like you can have your thoughts on it or not, but I just want to highlight like the opportunity for free money here. If you're somebody who is on Kaido and has at least 10 smart followers, you don't have to do anything talking about this, and you can participate in their presale on Saturday. Basically, the way the presale worked is they have 45% allocated to raise 70K. This comes out to an initial presale price at 155K market cap. The amount of buzz on the timeline leads me to believe that this is like at least a 10x, if not like 50 to 100x on initial price. Like if this goes to 15 million, which I don't think is out of the question, that's 100x on pre-sale price. So if you are on Kaido, like you need to take a couple steps. They haven't taken the snapshot yet. If you have 10 smart followers and your Sol wallet is connected to Kaido, you'll be eligible for this phase 2 first come, first serve. So check Kaido, make sure you have your Solana wallet in there to be eligible. If you're not one of the top 1,000 people like actually talking about it on the timeline. So this phase 2 is going to offer you, I think, like almost like guaranteed return. Not financial advice. I just don't see a world where this thing trades under 155K at launch. So they're basically offering it at such a low price that it's like almost a no-brainer. So keep an eye on that. Follow them at Stay Loud IO. Easy. I want to hear your take on like why this is like dumb. The overall like token.
Loud?
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It is hands down the dumbest thing. Beyond dumb. And it's not just because my FUD has not gotten me on the leaderboard. That certainly plays a heavy hand in it. But dude, look at this graphic I made. It's one of the best art pieces I've ever made. Not the volume one, this one. This is the flywheel that you're telling me is going to generate consistent return. LOUDCOIN drops, creators yap about it, airdrop to the leaderboard. They can sell it. Where in this entire flywheel do traders and volume get incentivized? Like the only thing I see here, so I think the pre-sale, sure, beautiful. Buy it at 100K market cap because this probably trades at minimum a couple mil before it gets nuked into oblivion after the first week. Because the top 25 is getting how much of a kickback?
I think they're getting paid in Solana. I don't think they're getting tokens.
Sure. So then once again, what is the incentive? The Solana fees come from traders. There's 4% sell and 4% buy tax. So what trader is going to want to trade that with that high of a tax? Like there's
because
zero.
Because it incentivizes traders to get in early. That the tax that they will face won't. So you said that you believe it is going to be a good trade potentially if you can get in early. So if you get in early,
pre-sale. No, just the pre-sale.
Oh,
Literally
just
only the pre-sale. Only the pre-sale. I want to not buy this on the open market. I want to sell it the second I can. I want zero exposure to this thing in any capacity because the only incentive and the only inclination for this is for people to talk about it. But if you talk about it, like traders are not creators and many creators are not traders. That's the difference. The amount of people that are going to be on that top 25 leaderboard that are not active on chain is greater than 50%, probably greater than 60%. So where is the volume going to come from? Like I did in that same post, I broke down like, if you're calling for 100 mil volume on this token for 7 days, you basically have to be a top 3 or 4 meme coin over those 7 days.
Okay, where it could bring traders if they take the tax away. So you basically you can't.
You can't do that.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
Because the fees are generated from the tax. So if you take the tax away to incentivize traders, creators aren't going to talk about it because they're not getting payments anymore.
Okay, so, maybe not the no. Then there's no okay. I get what you're saying. There's no reason for secondary to go there basically if you don't get the pre-sale.
None. Like that's the thing. And I've been listening to a lot of ultras like comments on it. And I'm interested in the idea. I like the idea. I think it's cool to have something like this. But I just think that you're rewarding people with large reach already, right? Like it's only for the top 25 who will get the fees. So large reach is incentivized. Smaller creators are not. I think that's a big difference between something like PackMoon, which was all creators were getting insane money from it. And that was, in my opinion, like an initial attention offering. Like that's it. I think that was a better use of attention because any post could be engaged with. And then they did the engagement validators and it was purely an attention game where this is like, okay, the top 5 big names that post positively about this are going to eat. Like I've been fudding it and I'm not on any leaderboards because I think they slash negative posts. And I'm like, all right, at this point, my goal is to make it in the top 25 by just being hyper negative about it. And I don't think I'm going to be on there anymore because if it's truly an attention game, positive and negative press should be weighed the same because all press is good press in an attention game. And yet I've got double-digit 5-figure impressions and I'm nowhere on here. So I'm like, okay. Clearly, you're slashing some of this. I've looked at some of these other posts, and I'm like, dude, I know for a fact I've gotten more engagement on my 2 posts than a lot of these. I don't know. The whole model seems broken.
It could be that
it's going to be as
Twitter's
good.
been jacked up lately too.
Also true. So maybe I make it on there. I'm gonna keep fudding it. It's more fun. It's been a while since I've been able to FUD something so aggressively. But it's also like I'm not baselessly fudding it. Like I'm a trader at heart. There's zero incentive for me to trade this token. The pre-sale seems profitable. Plain and simple. The pre-sale seems like a good opportunity.
I mean,
Aside from that,
it's
I'm
really,
good.
I mean, it's really what it's trying to be. It's like, it's an experiment if like attention is all that matters. And I think it's bullish that people are on both sides of it, as opposed to everyone being like, oh, this is going to cook. This is going to cook. Generally, those don't cook. I'm
Yeah.
not saying this is going to cook. I go back and forth on like what this is going to be and how it ends up. I'm very interested to just kind of watch. I'm with you. I'm not going to be buying this. I think it's way too like volatile. I'm going to be collecting my airdrop. I may hold it. I'm not sure. I may sell it into an initial pump. I'm going to continue to earn fees because I'm staking Kaido, and they just get a percentage of everything for just staking Kaido. So like that's going to be nice. So like that gives me like upside if it does cook. So like I think I might just claim whatever I can from the pre-sale and then sell it at hopefully what is like a local top, and then just kind of sit back and watch. That's kind of my thought process on how I'm playing this.
But you also bring up a really good point, Easy, that like when you compare it to a Pac Moon scenario, is that the flywheel for the small creator is not there. That incentive to go out there and make that content. If you've got 100 followers or 200, like sometimes I remember you'd see somebody with like 150 followers making absolute banger content, and you would actually see them on your timeline. And before that noise got drowned out. So I think it's not egalitarian. That's the problem.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to remember too, like, is attention the only thing you need for coin price to go up? I think the answer is no. Because if it was, you would see a lot more coins at much higher market caps. You need traders to be incentivized too. Like, that's where volume comes from. And I think this experiment, if it's going to do anything, is going to make it exceptionally clear that creators are not traders and traders are not creators.
Oh, I like your thesis. We'll see how it plays out. If Ray's sitting on the sidelines, like basically it's not a good one to go into. Because Ray, I feel like you're like really just a true degen at heart, like hardcore, but you try to like show that you're not, but really you are. So if you're sitting on the sidelines, then this basically means don't touch it.
It's easier to sit on the sideline when you know you're going to be trickled rewards for doing nothing, which is staking Kaido.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, we can talk about that too. I mean, staking Kaido has been like super lucrative in addition to price going up. So I highly suggest you do that. The next button that I clicked actually is related to that. They have a nice Telegram now that basically alerts you anytime you have like an opportunity through Kaido to earn money. This one's called Humanity Protocol. They're doing a $2.2 million airdrop of H token. And essentially there's extra steps you need to take. So this could be a little bit more concentrated. It's going to Kaido stakers and people yapping about Humanity. But you have to sign up for their site. So you can follow them. I think it's Humanity Prot, P-R-O-T. And you need to like sign up for their account or sign up on their website, on their testnet. So like extra steps you have to take for these sort of things are kind of bullish because it could condense the amount of people receiving this $2.2 million worth of token. So if you're a Kaido staker, if you're somebody who's yapping about this, make sure you take those extra steps to get on the protocol. Yeah, so that's like another button that I clicked yesterday, just signing up for protocols that are connected to Kaido to potentially earn free money. We talked about Sofon's airdrop yesterday. That was nice. I got $750 out of free air, out of thin air for just joining a Discord.
I actually bought some Sofon.
Oh yeah, nice. I'm holding.
I bridged over to it.
Yeah.
I bridged about 2K over to Sofon yesterday. I think there's stuff on that ecosystem, like the Hedge Empire, despite their really shitty pre-sale yesterday. Like I think that was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen a project do in my entire life. Like not tease that they were doing a pre-sale and doing a pre-sale with no information, making it look like Twitter was hacked, drove me insane. And then once again, immediately fudded it. Just did not send anything. I'm still gonna play the game. I love a good Ponzi. I love being early to a good Ponzi. Since the pre-sale was real, they raised it a 1 mil market cap. I like the low volume on that. Yeah, I think that's good. Like, I think those things I'm interested in. Chains, I like to be finding a couple first mover plays on chains. Like Bitcoin was a big cook for me on Abstract. So I think if I can find another thing that's like an enjoyable game. I even did that terminal market thing. Like Ray, that thing that I minted like 50 of those stupid things on.
Yeah, I have them too. Still bag
so
I sold some.
I played the game. I think I finished top 100. So like
Did
I
you?
was pretty
Were you
active
like
in it.
you were actively
Sending messages, annoying the hell out of these agents. As soon as I figured out what to do, I was just firing messages telling them to spend all their energy and trade as much as they could. I was like basically making them mimic what I do. And they did well. They did well. Like at one point I was top 10 and then I went to AVAX Summit, so I couldn't yell at them a bunch. And that's when I fell off. So yeah, I don't know. For me it was just more like I like these on-chain games. I like these idle games. I think there's a lot of interesting stuff there. Yeah, I was pretty content with it. So if we can get more exposure to stuff like that, even on new chains, big opportunity. I see eBrink asking for a virtual segment. Screw virtuals. If I wanted to turn $20 into $200, I would go to a casino. I'm good on the stupid flywheel that exists. Screw them. And this is only because I can't figure out the point system.
Yeah, you have to come in with some size at this point to like really get into the point system. Like I'll show you.
Why would I not just buy Kaido in size and do that instead?
I did that as well.
Like that feels significantly more EV positive. If I were to
And
just
which one has
go
been
and
more
buy,
profitable, Ray, for you? Because you've been early to both.
So like here's an example. Today on the hyped launch for virtuals, it's called Solus. It's currently oversubscribed by 2,391%. I've got 2,700 points or 27,000 points. If I max my points into this, I'm only able to spend 2.1 virtuals essentially of allocation, which is like $5. This is probably going to like 20 to 40x off the rip because this is basically they got first in the virtuals hackathon. It's ran by a bunch of
Ray. Ray. Let me just make sure I'm understanding this fucking math real quick. So the max allocation you can put in is $5
for this. It is, yeah. This one currently because I don't have the points. These people here have 3 million points, and they're able to max allocate. So basically, like it's a game of like saving your points for certain launches to climb this leaderboard. So I'm not gonna like even though I know this is gonna be a cook, I'm not gonna pledge.
One sec, sound money, screw you. We talk about shit we're not getting paid by constantly. Ray's an adamant virtuals fan. I think it's dumb because of that math that I just got. So you're telling me for $5 I can make $100 to $200?
Yep. That's with my amount of points. It's like there's people.
And how much did it cost for you to put that money in to get to that point?
So I mean it's complicated. I'm holding virtuals. Like I've staked $1,000 worth of virtuals like indefinitely. I've almost gotten that back though from airdrops of like Virgin token and other tokens. So
how much did that cost you?
This is $1,000 essentially worth of virtual.
And how long did it take for you to get $1,000 back?
2 weeks.
That's not bad.
And then I also am staking Kaido over 5K worth of Kaido, which also earns you daily points. So like I'm not like earning whale points on holding size of these. I'm basically trying to stack up size and look for an opportunity where there's one that's not oversubscribed that I think can cook, that I get a good allocation of. So like this one is like, this is the hottest one we've ever seen. So that ratio is going to be the worst ever for points to like how much I can contribute.
So that top user though, how much can they contribute and how many, like how much do you think they've needed to put in to get there? Like 10K?
More than that. I'd say these people have six figures. These top people have six figures worth of the ecosystem, and they're basically going to return $1,000 on a 40x here. They might get 40K from this.
That's a good return.
Yeah,
that's a good return. Okay, so that's good. There's certain like that now sounds more lucrative. The issue is like I just want to understand. Okay, if I show up with 10K and just dump it into virtuals right now and just stake virtuals, how long do I have to stake for?
So you have different options. Like you get essentially they want you to lock it up indefinitely.
Holy shit!
Yeah, so
I can never get it back.
Yeah. So I only lock. So it's basically a rolling 2-year lock, is what I'm locked into here. And my bet was I'm pretending this money goes to zero, and I'm going to make it back on airdrops, which I essentially have. So like that's a big bet to take at this point.
But how much is a virtual right now?
I think virtuals like I frame it at $2. It's been moving around. Let me pull it up real quick.
Easy. There's something. There's like Ray omits that he started this back in January. I want to say. So it's like. So his 1,000. So essentially, he was so early to the Ponzi that it's completely working out for him. But if you come to the Ponzi now and you're putting in 10K and staking it for 2 years, you're very unlikely to get that back in 2 weeks. The way Ray got back his $1,000 back in 2 weeks in January when he started it.
If I dumped 10K into this and lost money, every single day would be a FUD virtuals post. Every single day for the rest of my life. I would schedule them for 365 days every single day for the next 5 years. I would sit there for an entire day writing FUD posts for 5 years. 5 entire years. Same time every day. We drop it at 12:01 a.m. every single day. Like this whole thing about how if you sell the airdrop you get 2, you can't do the next one for like 7 days. At some point, this has to collapse.
100%.
At some point.
Million
At some point.
Also, you're earning
Like-
points for staking new launches for 2 weeks.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. So for 2 weeks, if I lock up the new stuff, I get more points.
Exactly.
Once again, dude, I'd rather just buy 10K worth of Kaido and just earn free money that I can sell at any point without risk.
Or you just go long virtuals where you can just exit whenever you want.
Yeah, just go long virtuals and pray that this thing doesn't collapse the next hour.
I think it's a good play, but it was a good play when Ray did it, which
Yeah.
6 months ago.
Now it's broken.
And there's all, and I don't know, we've spoken a lot today about NFTs, art, meme coins. There's like so many different opportunities. I feel like, why would I come to a trade?
That's the thing. I think there's so much opportunity. So much
Yeah.
opportunity that, like, yeah, sorry we're not talking about virtuals. I'm sorry, Sound Money. I know how upset you are about it. I personally think it's too late to get into that game. I think there's ample opportunity basically everywhere else besides virtuals. And hearing that it would cost me $5 to make 200, yeah, I guess it's interesting. But at the same time, I feel like there's better risk reward basically anywhere else.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen this movie before and I got burnt and I know the ending. I can't remember the name of the movie. I can't remember the ecosystem, but I remember I was there.
Yeah, it was
and I got burnt.
FTX and staked it for 14% yield. And then they collapsed because they were
I think
investing my
it
money.
might have been maybe some stuff on Blast. I can't remember, but I feel like I've ran this race before. And yeah, I just rather do something like going into Friday, Saturday, Sunday, June, July, August. I feel like there's better place to be done. But Ray, you're going to cook. I think you're going to cook for as long as the ecosystem Ponzi remains. And it's because you had great timing. You went in at the right time.
I mean, I think that there's still legs. I think that I'm like a week into staking some of these where I can start pooling them. I'm going to be very interested in seeing like what the market's looking like for Virgin specifically, because that's my biggest bag. I think I have like 5K of Virgin.
What would happen if you took it and nuked that right now? Would you not be allowed in any drop for like the next 6 years?
There's like a cooldown on earning additional points for a week.
Dude, so all these people who are like, yeah, I'm making all this money, I'm printing right now. You haven't actually sold it.
Yes and no. Some people are doing like multi-wallet strategies where like they'll like rotate which wallet's earning points for a week and which one's like being like a sell wallet. There's like some interesting strategy involved with it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who are pumping this who haven't realized gains. And I think that's who is that says like a good point. Exactly. People tell me they made their locked virtuals back, but none of the people have ever sold anything. So they haven't really gotten their initial investment back. It's all staked.
Sound Money says yes, you can sell with other wallets. So if you transfer to a different wallet,
it links them if you transfer, but if you have like 2 wallets that you're like actively participating in, like
so you got to have 2x the capital, and one of them sells, the other one holds.
essentially that's what some people are doing to like
Oh my
basically.
fucking god, dude! Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Yeah,
show.
but I think like this is it here. I think this is like the left curve, right curve play here. Essentially, is like complicated Ponzi, awesome. Just trade virtual coin.
Yeah,
like that could be like the easiest. If you think like there's meat on the trade, like virtual, all these things trade in virtuals. That would mean that virtual could go up during this. Just take a less time intensive, less upside play, and just trade the base token. Could make sense. Easy hates virtuals. I love it. I love watching you and ICO Beast go at it on the timeline.
no, he's just mad because he's not early to the Ponzi. Normally, he's the first one to the Ponzi. Then
The
starts
issue,
talking
Sig, is
about
even
the
bigger than
Ponzi.
that. The issue is even bigger than that because I wouldn't be able to sell the Ponzi. They would trap me in. They would handcuff me for 2 weeks, and I'd have to bitch for 2 weeks until I got back into the Ponzi. Because I would have sold the very first thing that hit the thing, not reading any of the docs. So yeah, easy will be in when they add Near. Absolutely. When Near AI launches on virtuals, I'm all in. You're gonna see me stack 10K virtuals. This shit just pisses me off. Just pisses me off. Because I'm
I
all
might
for a
actually,
good
I actually
Ponzi, but let
might
me
buy
sell.
the token today. I might try. You also get bonuses for buying new launches. I might buy today's launch. Like that's it. It's the Virtuals Hackathon winner. It's got a team of like Stanford
So
students.
that sounds like it'll do well.
Right. It should. Like theoretically, the
Should.
launch should do well. Is it going to return well? Because I think people are going to be like minded on that. But we'll see. We'll see. It's one of the first ones like one of the few ones I've considered buying on launch. The other one being Virgin, which has been like up only. Like this chart for Virgin is like wild. But this is, like any other one, it's locked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days right now. So I'll be interested to see what happens.
Show me the chart when it's unlocked, Ray.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. 6 days from now, we're gonna have to take a look. This could just go consolidate, nuke. Because this one is one where a lot of people made a lot of money. But with this, I essentially locked this immediately. So I should be like one of the first ones to the exit, hopefully. But we'll see.
When you have to wake up in the middle of the night to exit your position because you want to be fastest out the house because everything is burning down, like, I don't know, maybe you have to kind of reevaluate a little bit. I don't know, Ray, but this is your kind of stuff.
Yep.
And you were early, so you're good. You're good.
Anything's locked for selling, you get cooldown. It also has like another lock on like the airdrop too. But if I get out of virtual at this market cap or Virgin at this market cap when we have an unlock, I'm going to be a very, very happy camper with my virtuals bag.
What's the incentive to keep it? Have they put in the incentives to keep it?
Yeah, you continue to earn points. Like if you want to keep playing the game, you keep it. I mean, like the real thing is like bigger picture, like does virtuals continue to cook? Is the entire crypto market bullish? Like these are all things that are important. Like does virtual go back to all-time highs? If virtual goes back to all-time highs and I have these things locked up for 2 weeks and they're all unlocked and I don't touch them, I think that it's going to be like a giga cook on all of them. People are going to be piling in, virtual's a new all-time high, crypto's running. Like it's going to be giga cook. If we chop or there's more bad news, it's going to be running for the exit. So it's high risk. It's definitely work you have to put into like evaluating and like finding your positions, making sure you have your locks and stuff like tracked. But I enjoy playing it and I think it's going to be profitable.
I feel like if Nick was here, he'd be screaming at you right now. Being like,
I'm starting my FUD campaign right now.
And the locking, but look, no. But the thing is, anyway, I've made my point on this. I think you're going to cook on this. I do. I really think you do. It's just like day one. If I stepped in today, that opportunity is not there for me.
Yep, I think I agree. I think if you got in when I did a week or two ago, where I like started like actually participating in the new launches, you'd be doing well. I think now
I'm fudding it.
Risk adjusted.
First FUD post has been deployed.
Risk adjusted return is definitely not as high. But I continue. Let's see what we got here from Easy. First FUD post live from Easy.
3-3. That's the movie. That's the movie.
It's 3-3. It's the old
3-3. That's the one. Yeah. This summer's blockbuster. 3-3 in virtuals.
Love to see it. Thank you all for listening. It's been a wonderful show. We've got one more show left this week. We do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can catch us on all major podcasting platforms. Watch us back on YouTube. You can see what we're talking about in real time. Thanks again for listening. Have a wonderful day. We'll catch you tomorrow.